Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we've got a story for you, a personal account that really pushes the boundaries of explanation. It's one of those narratives that sticks with you, makes you question what's real, you know?
Absolutely. It's a powerful reminder of how much we don't know and how perception itself can be, well, flexible.
Exactly. So we're heading to Mae Hong Son in Thailand. Think beautiful landscapes, serene, but also maybe a bit mysterious. We're talking about Pae, which many travelers know, but also Peng Mafa, which is more remote.
Right. And this account comes from a young man, Kun Fan, and his friends. It starts as just a road trip, something totally normal, but it veers into something truly extraordinary.
Yeah.
It makes you think hard about how reality or our perception of it can just shift.
It really does. Okay, let's set the scene. This was back in 2014. Kun Fan was a university student then.
Right?
He and 5 friends decided, let's go on a nature trip to Pae. Pretty standard stuff, but they were using an old car, like definitely not a new model.
That detail turns out to be important.
Yeah, definitely. So the first night in Pae, totally uneventful, just kids hanging out, being tourists. The next morning, they drove out a bit further towards Mae Hong Son city itself to check out a reservoir. Again, everything seemed fine, relaxed.
Just enjoying the trip.
Exactly. But then came the return journey, heading back towards Pae. And this took them through Peng Mafa district.
Which has those really winding, hilly roads. Not easy driving.
Not at all. And remember that older car, packed with 5 people, they hadn't really checked the mechanics before leaving?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Suddenly they're going down a steep hill and nothing. The brakes just failed. Pedal straight to the floor.
Wow. That's terrifying. Just sudden, complete failure.
Utterly.
And in that split second, your whole world changes.
Yeah.
Pure adrenaline, it's fight or flight, but you're trapped in a metal box rolling downhill.
Yeah. But Kun Fan, somehow, he kept his cool. He immediately took his foot off the gas, slowly pushed the brake pedal all the way down, even though it wasn't doing much, and crucially, managed to pull the handbrake.
The handbrake. Good thinking under pressure.
He managed to bring the car to a stop, thankfully just off the side of the road, but talk about a close call.
Absolutely. They were incredibly lucky.
But now they were stuck. It was already getting dark, maybe 6 p.m.
Okay.
And Pae was still, 60 kilometers away. No way could they drive that far. Not on those roads, not with busted brakes.
No chance. Too dangerous.
And of course, they didn't have a mechanic's number or anything. Cell service might have been spotty, too. They were properly stranded.
That's right. Middle of nowhere, car broken, getting dark. Not ideal.
Definitely not. So, faced with driving being way too risky, they decided they had to find somewhere to camp. Just for the night.
Makes sense. The only real option.
They weren't thrilled about it, stopping in the middle of the forest, deep in the mountains, felt uneasy.
Yep.
But what else could they do?
Nothing, really. Safer than trying to drive.
So they started driving really slowly, looking for any kind of suitable pull-off. And soon, maybe 50 meters off the main road, they saw this area. It looked perfect. Clear, wide open ground. Accessible by this narrow little path branching off the road. It almost looked like a designated spot for tourists,
Huh. Convenient.
Yeah, really convenient. There was even this huge rain tree, looked really nice, and a stream nearby. It felt like maybe their luck was turning.
A little bit of relief after the brake scare.
Exactly. And then Kun Fan noticed something else that made him feel even better. There were 2 other tents already set up in the clearing.
Other people.
Yeah. He didn't see anyone around them right then, but just seeing the tents, he felt this wave of relief. Not alone out here.
That makes perfect sense. Safety in numbers, right?
Yeah.
Especially after something scary like the brakes failing in a strange place. Your brain latches onto that feeling of shared presence.
Totally. It feels safer.
It's a basic human instinct. It provides comfort, even if sometimes it might make us overlook other things that seem a bit off.
Right. So darkness fell properly, it started getting colder, they got busy setting up their own 2 tents.
Standard camping stuff.
Gathered firewood, got a good fire going for warmth, maybe keep animals away, and they even sprinkled lime around their tents.
Oh, interesting. Like for protection.
Yeah, sort of a traditional thing, maybe against snakes or insects, or maybe more symbolic. Anyway, they did that. Then a bit later, the people from the other tents emerged. Turned out to be 2 men and 2 women.
Okay, so the neighbors appear.
Yeah, and the 2 women were immediately friendly, came right over, started chatting.
Okay.
Said they were insurance salespeople from Bangkok, just on a trip, like them. Very sociable, seemed totally normal. Made the situation feel less weird.
Right, that would ease the tension a bit, just fellow campers.
But the 2 men, they were different.
How so?
They didn't say anything, didn't even look at Kun Fan's group, just walked straight past them, silently heading towards the stream.
No interaction at all.
None, just walked right by. Kun Fan kind of rationalized it, maybe they had something private to discuss by the water, or maybe they were just shy or preoccupied.
Yeah, you try to find a normal explanation. But still, that's a bit unusual, isn't it? Complete silence, no acknowledgement.
It is a bit strange.
Especially compared to the women being so friendly. It's a contrast. That lack of engagement, that silent, direct movement. It's a subtle, discordant note. It doesn't immediately signal danger, maybe, but it adds to a background feeling that something isn't quite right.
Yeah, and as the night went on, that feeling definitely grew. It got really cold, like unusually cold for the area, Kun Fan thought.
An unnatural chill.
And the forest just went silent.
Silent. I didn't
Like dead silent. No crickets, no rustling sounds, no animal noises, nothing. Just this heavy, eerie quiet.
Wow, that's unsettling in itself. Forests at night usually have some sound.
Exactly, it felt wrong.
That absence of expected sound, the sensory void, can really amplify unease. Your brain expects certain inputs, and when they're missing, it can trigger anxiety, make you hyper-aware of other oddities. It primes you for expecting something unusual.
For sure. So it's maybe 8 p.m. Kun Fan's planning to turn in soon, needs to get up early to sort out the car situation.
Yeah, find a mechanic.
And just then, the two men come back from the stream.
Okay.
And this is properly weird. They moved without making a single sound. In that dead quiet, you'd expect to hear footsteps, twigs snapping, something, but nothing. Completely silent.
No sound at all. That's highly unusual.
Kun Fan looked up, startled, because they just sort of appeared there. They gave him this brief, faint little smile and then just slipped into their tents.
A faint smile.
Yeah.
And then gone. Wow.
Yeah. So Kun Fan and two of his friends went to bed then. The other two friends stayed up by the fire, still talking with the two women. Kun Fan set his alarm for 6 a.m.
Okay, trying to get some sleep before tackling the car problem.
Right. Now, this is where everything changes. Brace yourself.
Okay.
6 a.m., the alarm goes off. Kun Fan wakes up, silences it quickly, takes a breath, slowly unzips his tent, and looks outside.
And
the camping ground is gone.
Gone? What do you mean gone?
It wasn't the nice, clear, open area from last night. Instead, he was looking at a cemetery. A cremation ground. A place for burying the dead.
What? No, that's impossible.
Completely impossible.
Yeah.
The big rain tree, gone. The other two tents, vanished. The friendly women, the silent men, gone.
No trace.
No trace. And the stream, the nice wide stream they saw, it was now just a tiny muddy puddle.
This makes no sense.
And maybe the craziest part, the path they drove in on, the clear, narrow path, also gone.
What was there instead?
Just thick, high grass, like shin level high, and deep mud. Totally impassable for their car. There was absolutely no way they could have driven into the spot.
So the entire landscape had changed overnight. From a campsite to a cemetery with impossible terrain.
That's exactly what he saw. He woke his friends up immediately. Their reaction, just utter shock, disbelief. Some of them just started crying.
I can only imagine. That's not just confusing, it's a reality breaking. Waking up somewhere totally different, and not just different, but a burial ground. How do you even start to process that? It fundamentally challenges everything. Your senses, your memory, your understanding of how the world works. It's not just psychological stress. It's like the physical rules just dissolved. It makes you grasp for explanation, shared hallucination, some kind of elaborate prank. But the physical change, the impossible terrain that defies easy answers.
Kun Fan was just reeling, where did the other people go? Where did the tree go? How did the stream shrink? And the biggest question, how on earth did they get the car here? None of it made any logical sense.
An absolute mind bender.
Then, just as they're standing there, completely lost and terrified, they see someone, an old man on an old motorcycle.
Oh, local.
Yeah, looked like he was maybe heading out to go fishing, had a rod with him. He sees them, pulls up.
What did he say?
He just asked them very casually, why are you camping here? This is a cemetery, a burial ground.
Wow. Just confirms it, matter-of-factly.
Yeah. And in that moment, Kun Fan said he just knew. He knew something profoundly unnatural had happened, something beyond any normal explanation. He tried to explain to the old man, like, it wasn't like this last night. The path was clear.
And the old man.
He didn't seem surprised by the location, just by them being in it.
Right. It's his familiar territory. This highlights that contrast. For him, it's a known place, maybe even one with its own stories or warnings. For them, it's a sudden, terrifying anomaly.
The old man then did something crucial. He pointed them towards this other way out.
A different path.
Yeah, a hidden, dusty dirt road, maybe 500 meters away. He said that would lead them back to the main road.
So there was a way out, just not the way they thought they came in. A lifeline, essentially, offered by someone who understands the real lay of the land.
Exactly. Khun Phan and his friends didn't waste a second. They followed his directions, found the dirt road, got the car out of there.
Must have been pure relief just getting back to the main road.
Oh, absolutely. They didn't even think about pay anymore. Just turned the car around and drove straight back to Bangkok. Got back late that evening.
I bet. Just wanted to get away.
You bet. And the very next morning, back in Bangkok, they immediately went and did a big merit-making ceremony.
Ah, okay. Traditional response.
Yeah, pouring water for the deceased, doing rituals to sort of appease any spirits, ward off bad luck, a way to process and try to spiritually cleanse after what happened.
Makes sense culturally. Trying to restore balance after such a disturbing encounter.
But it wasn't quite over. About 2 days later, one of the friends on the trip had this really vivid dream.
Oh. What about?
In the dream, there were these shadowy figures. And they were asking, like invitingly, why did you leave so quickly? Why didn't you stay?
Whoa. That is chilling.
Yeah. When the friend told the others, it just brought all the fear flooding back. It felt like confirmation that something other had been interacting with them.
That dream acts like an unsettling echo, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It reinforces the supernatural interpretation for them. It's not just a random nightmare. In the context of their shared experience, it feels like a message, a lingering connection to that place and whatever they encountered.
It really cemented it for them. And Khun Phan himself, looking back, he's very clear. He says, before this happened, if someone told him a story like this, he wouldn't have believed it. Not for a second.
Understandable.
But having lived through it, he now absolutely believes there are things out there, unseen forces or phenomena, that can literally obscure reality, that can blind you to what's truly there.
It's a profound shift in worldview, forced by direct, inexplicable experience. And this story, Khun Phan's story, it leaves us with so many questions, doesn't it?
It really does.
Who were those other people? Were they ever really there in a normal sense? How does a landscape physically transform like that overnight? What phenomenon, psychological or perhaps otherwise, could account for that initial perception of a safe campsite, only for it to dissolve into a cemetery? The central mystery is just baffling.
It absolutely is. So, think about this for a moment. Imagine you wake up. The place you fell asleep in is just gone. Replaced by something completely different, something unsettling like a burial ground. There's no logical way you could have gotten there. The people you met the night before have vanished without a trace. How would you even begin to reconcile that experience with your understanding of reality?
Staggering thought.
It really is. And it reminds us that sometimes the most challenging experiences, the ones that defy our neat explanations, might be the ones that teach us the most about the potential strangeness of the world around us. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. If this story sparked your curiosity about the unexplained, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss our future explorations.
Until next time, keep questioning.